Hey, I'm kind of short on gems, and got any of them, gems? Hey guys, what's up? It's Rob, and it has been a while since I made a video, and I'm here to make another video showcasing another deck that I really enjoyed playing. And we're currently, I think, top 70 in the world at the moment. Oh, we're number 73. We were 70 at the moment, but now we're 73 because we did drop down. But, because everyone is rising at the top, I didn't really expect to be 70, but we are number 73 in the world at the moment currently, which is awesome. I was able to get a few very close matches with this deck right here. This deck is a very good deck. It's a log bait deck, and since the Goblin Barrel is like not zappable anymore, it is a good deck to work with if you're, especially in like Grand Challenge mode, since Grand Challenge all the levels are equal, and so you'll be able to throw your Goblin Barrel out and make sure nobody will zap it, which is great because if you have a hog or a tank in front, those goblins will do work, and they have to force to use troops onto the tower in order to stop everything from creating more damage, which is great because you need damage on the tower to win. So with this deck right here, it does include the Ice Golem, which you're going to desperately need to have at a certain level so you can destroy skeleton armies. It's not really necessary, but I think it's like worth it, or something you desperately going to need for that case. We also have under-leveled Goblin Gang. Because I am in the top 100 or top 200, you need to learn to work with what you've got. And the Goblin Gang is pretty good on its own. I haven't maxed it out yet. I will max it out in the future, though, however, because it is zappable. The whole Goblin Gang is zappable for a positive trade. So I really need to get that fixed, but we'll deal with that in the future. But so far I'm using it. I'm having really no problems with it, which is awesome. We have Princess and Log, which are two legendaries that you'll definitely need for this kind of deck. And finally we have and these three are mostly your log bait, or what you will be baiting the log out with. Princess 2, sometimes she will bait the log out, which is awesome as well. I have a lot of notifications on my profile. Let's go ahead and just take a look at some matches real quick. Yes, I was under Team K, so I'm still considering myself part of Reddit Alpha. My friend is inviting me to Team K for a bit just to work on some stuff, so which is cool. So as you can see, we have a lot of wins at the moment. I was at 48-71 and then pretty much won almost every single game except this one right here. I lost to this one, but other than that, I pretty much won every single game all the way up to about where I am now, which is 50-41. I have broken 5,000, which is awesome. This was cancer. And we won't show that. Let's go ahead and start off with Graveyard and Poison. My deck is really hard against Graveyard Poison, so if you know how to play it versus Graveyard Poison, you'll probably have no problems with it, but it's just really difficult to work with or play against because there's a lot of, they use Graveyard, and then the Poison, the only counter you have to the Graveyard is the Goblin Gang and the Skeleton Army, which will die pretty fast from Poison, so you need to keep a wary eye. So Log is especially great in this sort of scenario. So as you can see, you already used Log. I'm going to throw my Goblin Gang and Hog just to get some extra damage onto the tower, because he doesn't really have anything for that. He does use a baby dragon to tank that, which is something a smart person would use. So he's going to go ahead. I got to distract with the Ice Golem, and he's going to do quite a bit of damage onto that. I'm sitting there struggling. I don't know what to do, so I'm just like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Do I use the Log, or do I use Skeleton Army? And unfortunately, because of that non-thinking, like I wasn't thinking that well, my tower's all the way down to 336, and look how far his tower's down. It's 1926. It's garbage. Like, I did nothing on his right tower. So he's going to go ahead and put his arches down, in the back. We're about even on Elixir. I mean, he's got a one trade since, he did do so. I'm going to go ahead, and since he did waste his Log, I'm going to go ahead and throw a lot of giant Goblin Gang push over here. They're going to do quite a bit of work onto that Skeleton Army. That one archer is going to do quite a bit. It's going to get, I think, 180 on the tower. Oh, 210 on the tower. I'm sorry. And I know the perfect counter to the Boulder is the what is it called? Ice Golem. So since he doesn't really have that much for poison yet, I'm going to go ahead and put my Skeleton Army down just to count, because the Skeleton Army is one of the best counters to the Graveyard. So he's going to go ahead and poison, and he messed up his poison, so I'm going to go ahead and do a push over here. He's going to lock everything, including the Princess, and my Hog will be able to get quite a bit of shots onto the tower, about 2, which is, okay for me. Unfortunately, my his King's Tower is activated, so I won't be able to get as much damage onto that. So since he does have that tornado, and that tornado does work as well, I'm gonna throw the Goblin Gang just because I have a lot of elixir that I'm just wasting there, so I don't want to waste elixir that much, so I'm going to go ahead and throw my Ice Golem down just to the tank so I don't get as much damage onto the tower. Minimal damage to the tower. Now he's got one of the best counters to my deck. And how I won this, I will have no idea how I won this at all, literally. Because he's got the Executioner, he's got the Bowler, he's got the Poison, he's got the Log, he's got the Baby Dragon, for every card in his deck, he can pretty much counter every card I have in my deck. My deck is garbage against his deck that he's got here, except the Inferno Tower, which can take out Bowler, and it can take out the Executioner all at once, which is what I did there. So he's gonna go ahead and throw his Tornado in the middle. He's gonna get, my Prince is gonna get the tower down, which is awesome. And he says, wow. So now it's a race to see who can get the second tower the fastest. So I'm gonna go ahead and start pressuring the other lane. He's gonna go ahead and try to prevent that as well. Here comes the, what's it called? Baby Dragon. Now he puts the poison down. I'm like, oh crap, he put the poison down. I put my Skeleton Army because again, that is one of the best counters. But since he, he put his log down, which is great for me. So now I can bait out his log, put down my Goblin Barrel, and get a lot of tower damage onto that as well. He used the Tornado to try to bring everything back. However, now I'm in the lead. Now this is the scary part, because once he puts that Graveyard and Poison down, it's going to be over for me. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. He's going to put his Poison down. I'm going to use a log to just quickly take that out. He's going to go ahead and use the log to kill my Hog, so my Hog will only get one shot. Now it's 298 versus 55. He's going to go ahead and throw something in the mix, and he's going to Tornado, so that way my Goblin doesn't get a hit. But unfortunately, one Goblin gets a hit, and that is GG. I came back from a deck that completely counters my deck. Pretty much 3 of his units were splash units. He had Poison, he had Log. He could have destroyed me with that, but I was able to bait out, count his cards, bait him out, and see what I got from there. So the Graveyard, my deck counters Graveyard pretty well, unless he has Poison, which then it doesn't at that moment. So this was a tie. I'm not going to show that as much. I'm going to show this one though. This was against Thump and Crystal Wrath. He is one of the top players. I think he got 30 something in the last season, or not last season, a few seasons ago. So he is a really good player. However, so again, I'm going to throw my princesses in the back, which is generally what I want to do. He's going to go, and then I see he throws a pump. So I'm going to go ahead and Goblin Barrel the pump. He's going to throw my princess as well in the back, just to make sure if he has any like Skeleton Army, like it will get down. But unfortunately, that was a mistake. My skeletons are going to do a lot of work onto that pump. And my princess as well, so he's got to waste a lot of elixir. I'm in a lead at the moment, however that pump will get pump out too, so we're going to be about even, or break even at the moment. I'm going to throw my Ice Golem down. That will pretty much counter the Musketeer very nicely, and now he's in a lead at the moment. So here comes the Knight. I figured he had Graveyard, so I'm going to go ahead and throw my Inferno, and I'm going to throw my Spear Goblins. Now he threw the Freeze. I know for a fact that he doesn't have a good counter to my Hog, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw my Hog into the back, because he put Knight, he put Balloon, he put Freeze. He didn't have enough elixir to protect my Hog, so he had to put Skeletons down, which is unfortunate for him. So now, in order to prevent him from using his pump, I throw my Princess down. So now he has to counter the Princess with something, so he has to use the Musketeer. He could have used the arrows, but he's afraid that I had like a lot of troops to use arrows for. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Ice Golem to tank that Musketeer. I'm going to throw it in the center of the bridge. I don't want to put it right in front, because again, sometimes he'll scooter out of the way and the tower won't get it as fast. So in order to bait out Log, I was hoping that he would just I would hope he would aim for the pump. Excuse me, I can't talk, I'm sorry. So I'm hoping he would throw a Log at the pump, so that way my skeletons would do work. But he had arrows, and this is why I realized, oh, he actually has arrows. So now he pretty much used his arrows. I can just dumpster this tower over here. So now, since I'm in an elixir lead at the moment, I just throw a 7 elixir push, which he has to counter really heavily. Here comes a huge push by him. I got to throw my what is it called? I have to throw my Inferno now at the place where it should be able to not get hit by the Freeze, because then he doesn't have enough room to throw anything else. So I throw my Hog, he uses his arrows. After I saw him use his arrows, I throw my Hog and Goblin Barrel. My Goblin Barrel is going to do a lot of work onto that tower, bring it all the way to 503. Now this is where it's going to get tough. Since I don't have a Fireball or Rocket or anything, this is where I have to really pay attention. So I'm going to have to throw, since he does have a lot going on here, he's going to freeze everything. And now I gotta use my Goblin Gang to like make sure I can take out that balloon before it does too much damage. and it's going to get a hit off all the way to 562 now. He's actually even an elixir, so this is scary. He does his arrows still, so I have to be careful now. And I throw my Goblin Barrel. Really thought his arrows were out of rotation, but unfortunately it wasn't. So my Hog is not going to get a hit at all. I gotta throw my Skeleton Army to take that out, and then I gotta wait for his balloon to yank it all the way. I'm gonna throw it all the way at the top of the bridge. I gotta make sure it's at the top of the bridge, otherwise that the balloon's gonna get frozen by the towers. So balloon did not make it, and now I know he's got arrows in rotation at the moment, so I bait out his arrows. I bait out his arrows with the air, and then I'm like, okay, Hog, Goblin Barrel, GG. This is it. I just throw whatever I got left. Just to make sure I get a complete damage onto the tower. It looks like it's GG for me. He used his arrows on that last Goblin Gang. He knew I had Goblin Barrel, so he had to be really careful with those arrows. But since he used them on the Goblin Gang, that was my win. So I'll take that for a win. Here's a very close game against Joey Sit that I did recently. This was the closest game. He should have won this. This should have been his win. He played this very well, and I played this very crappily, and I guess I got really lucky, so this caused for a win, but it's a replay worth showing. Unfortunately, I wasn't... Did I just spit? Ew, that's nasty. Unfortunately, this did not make TV Royale, although I think it should, since we both were top 200 at the time of this video making, or when we did this battle. So, unfortunately, the Musketeer can one-shot goblins, which stinks, but that's okay. He's got a freeze. This is where I know he doesn't really have any sort of counter to my deck, which is great. However, I gotta log this beautiful Musketeer because she's gonna get a lot of damage into that tower. So we're about very even on elixir, or we're even on elixir at the moment. We're also even on tower damage. So we're just gonna kind of sit here. My goal or attempt to use this deck, since it is a 3.1 deck, is that you can use whatever you can. I go ahead and use my Inferno. Or try to throw something out so he doesn't have any type, or he can't build a push, if that makes sense. Sorry if I'm muttering. It's really late in the night. A little tired, but I'm sorry about that. But okay, this is where I made a mistake. I threw my Goblin Barrel, but I forgot that his Mini P.E.K.K.A. wouldn't go to the Inferno. So unfortunately, I got a lot of damage onto his tower, but he pretty much took down my tower because the Mini P.E.K.K.A. again does a lot of damage on the tower once it gets there. So you gotta be really careful. So I was like, oh wow, I just lost that tower to him. Yikes. So here you go, throws on Musketeer. He's gonna get ready to protect that side. He has a huge elixir lead at the moment. So he does have troops down. I have to throw my Inferno down here. I'm gonna throw my Skeleton Army, but unfortunately he didn't zap the Inferno, which is good because then the Hog pretty much died to the Inferno. So now we're just kind of sitting on elixir at the moment. He's just throwing little stuff just to stop any pushes that I have or any princess counters. Pretty much I'm gonna go ahead and throw it onto the opposite end. Here comes another push by him. I throw out all my little stuff that I have. He's gonna go ahead and zap, and then because he zapped I threw my Skeleton Army, but I think I threw it a little prematurely at least. But look how much damage I'm getting on the left tower now. I pretty much dumpstered his left tower, and I got a huge push coming onto the right tower, so he's got to do something about it. It looks like it's going to be GG. That Musketeer is going to go down, by the way, because that Hog is distracting, and those Skeletons do absolute tormentous work. So here comes a Hog. Unfortunately, I placed my Inferno Tower at the absolute worst possible place in the world. So now he laughs because he knows, okay, so he's got a lot. He's working that. Alright, so I can throw my Princess down just to get rid of that, mini. That mini's gonna do work. He throws as much as he can over here. That Hog got one hit off. If that tower was 2 damage below, he would have won that. But he didn't. I was able to throw all I had into this last push, and I waited a little bit to see what he would freeze because I knew he had a freeze. So I waited to throw the Goblin Barrel, as you can see, and then he froze the Hog. Then I threw the Goblin Barrel, and that was GG. And then I took that easily. So that was that, and then we'll do one more, which is, these are a bunch of friendly battles. This is where I practice a little bit. I practice to see what kind of... I lost against Lava Hound. Lava Hound is my weakness, is a weakness to this deck. This is the final deck, or the final battle, which is where I got the top 70, or where I won the last one. So let's see and check this out. I made a few mistakes here as well. In the end, I prevailed, but I do need to take a look at my mistakes because I don't want to just say, "Oh, I did this perfectly. I'm the best player in the world. Ha ha! Look at me, love me, and stuff. But I did have a few mistakes here, which I will definitely say I did. I threw a hog by itself just because, you know, he threw in a push. Now I didn't have anything at all, so I was trying to cycle all the way to my Inferno, but unfortunately the Inferno wasn't in rotation at the right time, so this was kind of unlucky. He threw a zap, so I was able to throw my skeleton army since I knew he didn't have zap in rotation, so I was able to get some skeletons onto that tower. He's got a bowler getting ready, but, you know, it's all good. So the thing about this deck is you want to prevent them from building a huge push because you don't have that much elixir and they have a huge amount of elixir. So this is what I did. I threw a princess down at the bridge, and the reason why I did that is because I knew he had to make a huge, he didn't have much of a selection. I didn't know he had Mega Mini at the time, by the way. So I knew he probably didn't have Log. If he had Log, I knew I could throw my Goblin Barrel down. Oh, by the way, that's one of the perfect decks. Okay, so now I see Goblin Gang is one of the best counters to Bowler when it's maxed, at least. Okay, so this is where I threw Goblin Gang. He threw his Musketeer down. I did a huge push onto that side. Now this was where I faulted. I threw a huge push on one side. Look how much elixir I have to defend this push. I don't have anything. I couldn't do anything. He's got this tower. This tower is his dunzo. He had a zap. I'm glad that it targeted onto the Mega Mini because the Mega Mini does more damage, I think, than the Giant would by itself. But still, the tower's done. I have 2 towers out of low. He just took out my tower, so now he can just throw his Giant at the bridge. And then I also didn't know he had Graveyard too. So this is where I got into trouble. And since it is double elixir and he does have that tower, I'm gonna struggle a little bit here. So he did activate my King's Tower, so my Hog is useless now. So I just threw what I had here, tried to distract the Bowler. I had to use an Inferno, I had a Log, all the skeletons. Unfortunately, he was able to get a lot of damage onto his tower, and now that Mega Minion was getting a shot. So I threw a mistake there, putting my Goblin Gang on the right side of the tower, because I was afraid of the Bowler. So now he's able to get a lot of damage onto that tower. I throw my Hog down, and he throws a Bowler to counter. In a bit, there it is. And he throws a Bowler to counter. Now I'm kind of scared. What am I going to do? Like, I'm legit scared. So this is what I call the race to the 3 count. I know he has enough elixir for Giant Graveyard. He throws his Graveyard, he throws his Giant. I'm going to throw everything I got so he wastes his zap and he doesn't zap the tower. So now that my skeletons are doing work over there, I'm going to throw my Hog Rider. Hog Rider should get a lot of damage onto that tower. Skeletons are going to do work. Looks like the goblins will prevail and get as much damage onto the tower. He did throw the poison and he didn't have enough elixir to defend against the push that I had going to the tower. My push is faster, but his push is stronger, if that makes sense. So, in the race of the 3 crown, you just throw everything you got, bait out what he has, bait out his counter to your graveyard, and then pretty much you can prevail at that moment. Since my counter is fast, since my push is faster, I was able to take the tower faster than he did. However, his push is stronger, so if my push didn't last, he would have taken the tower on my side, and that would have been GG. So that is how you play this deck. I'm probably going to do one live deck, I guess. One live battle, so you can kind of see my mentality of when I play it. And then after that, we'll call it a day. So, which is cool. All right. So at the moment, we have a good card set, which I like. I want to see what he's doing. So he's gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and go on the opposite end and just throw a huge push. He does have about 6 elixir now, and he does have a Valkyrie, which is a good counter. But unfortunately, since the Valkyrie is more focused onto the back, they wasn't really focused onto the back combo, so I was able to get quite a bit of damage as well. I'm gonna throw my princess in the back just to take out that Valkyrie, because the Valkyrie is gonna counter my goblins, which stinks. And now the princess can focus on to the hut. So now he's gonna do that. But I was able to get one more skeleton, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw my ice golem down. That was actually a very bad placement on my part, but that's okay. I'm gonna throw another goblin barrel. So now, see, this is where I overcommitted. This is, oh wow, yeah, I overcommitted here. So he's gonna definitely get this tower. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw my skeleton and make sure that giant doesn't get down. Just any more damage into my king tower. Yeah, so this is why you don't overcommit on pushes, ladies and gentlemen, because things like this will happen, where you'll take a tower down. Over here. So So yeah, I wanted to distract the Princess Keeper as much alive as possible. See, I just lost the tower because of that. So now I gotta wait, and then I can't commit too many high pushes. Unfortunately, that would have been easily stopped by an Inferno, but I was too... Oh, he's going for 3 crown. Oh my goodness, he is going for 3 crown. Alright, so we'll see what we can do here. I'm gonna try to get as much damage onto that Valkyrie as possible. Since he really doesn't have a counter, I'm gonna go ahead and throw a Goblin Barrel here. And just to take that out, he's got a huge push, or a huge counter to my Hog and Goblin Barrel, which is a minion horde. You know, which can be scary at points. So I'm gonna go ahead and save up Elixir. I'm gonna do this so I can save my Princess. My Princess is a huge necessity. Alright, here comes this. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Throw everything I got here. I don't think he has a zap, so I'm gonna go ahead and use all my Elixir to counter that, which is safe for me. Now let's go ahead and use the Princess onto the Goblin Hut, and just to take that out. Alright, now that that's out, let's go ahead and throw a Goblin Barrel and a Hog. I'm gonna go ahead and stop that Valkyrie from doing too much damage. He threw his Fireball a little too late, and looks like I was able to take down the tower. And that's GG. So again, you learn from your mistakes. I learned that I pushed a little too much, but then I realized, oh wow, we have double Elixir. Since my push is faster, I'm going for 3 crown faster, since he was as well trying to go for 3 crowns. So let's go ahead and do one more, since I was a little fast. You know, don't want to bore you with just fast games, but you can kind of see how this deck works. And again, I have level 11 Goblin Gang versus level 13 troops, since top 200, pretty much everyone has max level everything. So, okay, so this is where I see a problem here. I don't have anything to counter this, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this. He's probably gonna use a log. Oh, arrows. Okay. In which case, since that... Oh, wow, he's got... Oh, wow. Now I got a huge counter right here. And now I got a Princess onto the opposite end. So now he wasted pretty much so much Elixir. I'm gonna go ahead and log just to get a little bit of damage onto that pump, because that pump is annoying. I'm gonna go ahead and use Skeleton Army. I was a little late on that Skeleton Army, but I'm gonna go ahead and do a push here. He's got arrows right there, so I'm gonna go ahead and get a few hits onto that tower. He doesn't really have that much Elixir. Now, in order to prevent him from using any more pumps, I'm gonna go ahead and throw my... Oh wow, he actually did. Lovely. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and throw my Goblin Barrel in the back, just to see if I can get that pretty down as far as I can. Okay. He's gonna use a cannon to counter, I think. No, he's not. Okay. Alright, so this is where I'm gonna run into trouble. So the Inferno is a great counter to the balloons, which is awesome. So now I'm just gonna make sure he doesn't play a pump. Oh, he does play a pump. That's lovely. Okay. Alright, so now I just gotta chill on my Elixir since I am a little low at the moment. I'm gonna go ahead and do a push here. No, I'm just gonna chill out for a bit. Let's go ahead and just throw a Goblin Barrel down, and then we'll just do this. Okay, since he's going to Musketeer, I'm gonna throw this. Okay, that was his fault. He threw, I made a mistake there. I was getting a little too cocky with that. He's got a freeze, but he wasted his freeze. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a Princess to kind of counter that Hog Rider. So he's gonna go ahead and do that, which is awesome for me. I'm gonna go ahead and start a push here. I have enough for Inferno, so in case he uses an Inferno, that should be good. He's gonna go ahead and freeze that as well. He's getting a little nervous now. He doesn't know what to do. I'm gonna go ahead. Why are you pumping still? Okay, this is... that's kind of funny, actually. Okay, this is where I should be able to prevail. He's gonna go ahead and freeze. However, I'm gonna get a lot of damage onto that. Oh wow, the Princess lives! Protect the Princess! Wow, the Princess... Oh my goodness. Oh, she died. Rip. I thought that Princess would live. I guess not. Well, okay. So I guess at this point we can just log. And I think this should be GG. Good game. Indeed. Alright, GG. So we only had one real counter, and I made sure to keep spam. I don't know why I kept putting his pump down. It was double elixir. We don't really need pumps at that point. So yeah, really, after a certain point, I was like, you know what, I don't really care about the pumps. I'm just going to let him pump up. It's really important to make sure you take down the pumps on single elixir, because single elixir, if he builds a push, you don't really have that much elixir to defend it against. So anyway, sorry if I was mumbling too much, but that is the deck here. If you do want to copy pasta, there it is right there. Thanks guys for watching. Sorry I haven't really uploaded in a while. I do have a hectic schedule, and I will see you guys later. Thank you. Bye.